Transformers: Rise of the Beast introduces a new set of robots in disguise, but it takes place in the 1990s, well before the entries in the series directed by Michael Bay. So why didn't the Autobots ever mention their pals the Maximals? Spoilers for Rise of the Beast ahead. The continuity of the live-action Transformers films has always been pretty sketchy, even within the 5 directed by Michael Bay. 2018's Bumblebee, which took place in 1987, ostensibly functions as a soft reboot of the franchise, but it's also a prequel, showing what Bumblebee was up to before he met Sam Witwicky in the first Transformers movie.
So you talk through the radio?
Actually, you're beautiful. You're wonderful. You're wonderful.
Rise of the Beast supposedly takes place within this same timeline, with the previous cinematic installment being directly referenced when Optimus Prime mentions how Bumblebee has already made friends with humans. Connecting the 2 most recent Transformers movies with Michael Bay's entries in the franchise can prove troublesome, especially now that the Maximals have been introduced. They've been on Earth for a long time, and after the climactic battle, it's assumed they're still around, probably continuing to be based in Peru. So if Rise of the Beast leads into Bay films, it raises the question of why the Maximals didn't help out during all of those potential world-ending events. The Maximals are even the ones who have to teach Optimus Prime to work alongside the humans, so they likely have just as much of an interest in protecting humanity, if not more. Why did they remain in hiding then? After the good guys succeed in destroying the Transwarp Key and preventing Unicron from coming to Earth, everyone seemingly goes their separate ways. The Autobots are more accepting of humanity, while the human characters are changed for the better. It's unclear what exactly the Maximals get up to, but presumably they go back to living in the Peruvian jungle with the indigenous tribe they befriended. It's understandable that they don't necessarily want to be bothered with every little thing. But the Michael Bay Transformers movies have some significant threats that put the entire world in jeopardy. It's unclear why the Autobots wouldn't call on them again to help them to fight off the Decepticons. There may be another factor at play here, though. No one can seem to decide if Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast are prequels to the Bay films straight-up reboots. Some things are seemingly canon. Megatron, for example, wasn't in Bumblebee or Rise of the Beast because the other entries established he was frozen during those decades. Bumblebee director Travis Knight even told The Hollywood Reporter he couldn't use Megatron in his film for that reason. On the other hand, there's a lot that's seemingly being retconned in the new Transformers movies. For one, 2017's The Last Knight established how Unicron was actually Earth, with its horns protruding out of the planet's surface. Rise of the Beast, however, shows Unicron as a completely separate entity. The new movie also has a final scene where Noah is recruited by G.I. Joe, potentially setting up a crossover event between the 2 Hasbro franchises. This would only open up more questions as to how the movies fit in with Bay's. It's possible the explanation for why the Maximals aren't in any other Transformers movie is that these new ones take place in a different timeline. If Paramount does want to keep everything under one roof, the Maximals' exclusion could be explained in a future installment. Perhaps they sacrifice their lives valiantly to protect Earth, or maybe they find a way off the planet. At the end of the day, these are movies about robot aliens that turn into cars, so maybe it's best not to think too hard about it.